welcome back to Learning with Liz. So this week's video, I am going to be explaining the teacher training route that I have decided to take for the next year. Obviously, there are many a teacher training route that one can select when deciding that they're going to go into teaching. I'm going to do a video about the different routes that you can choose, but for me, I selected the Scitt. Which is a school-centred initial teacher training route. So I am doing my Scitt in Sheffield. It's where I'm from, it's where I went to uni. I love it, so why would I leave? I thought today's video I can basically explain what it's all about. I'm one of those people that I finished uni and I just wanted to dive straight into the teaching world. Obviously you can go down the PGCE route as well, which is more of a university based one where you're in lectures and then you have 2 different placements throughout the year. But I just wanted to be in the school. I just wanted to learn stuff and then execute it in the classroom the next day. That's how I am. And that is why the Scitt was perfect for me. I'm basically gonna talk you through what my placements are gonna be like. Am I gonna be in uni a little bit? Am I not gonna be in uni? How are my holidays looking? And what's gonna happen by the end of the year. My weeks obviously are like a normal school year. So I'm gonna be in school from September all the way until July 2020. So there's no like uni time for about 3 months and then go into like a 6-week placement. I am going to be in the school the entire time. So the first term I am going to be mainly doing teacher observations. So what this means is that once a week I am going to have an hour with a mentor. My mentor is going to be looking over my progress throughout the year, helping with lesson plans, any queries I have. But the first half term is going to be me basically looking at different classrooms, different ways that teachers teach, making notes so then I'm able to later on get that to help me become my own sort of version of teacher. So I'm going to be in RE lessons, which is obviously what I'm teaching, but then I get the opportunity to go into drama lessons, go into history lessons and see how they do their lessons too. I'm also going to get an opportunity to like shadow students, because I think what happens is when you've not been in school for a while, you can forget that students at secondary and A-level are in school from like 9 o'clock until 3:30, but in comparison to the teacher where you are just doing one subject throughout the day, those poor students, 9 o'clock they've got maths, 10 o'clock they've got history, 11 o'clock they've got geography. They have to have so many different thinking caps on throughout the day, and you forget about that. So if you might become grouchy because they forgot to do their homework. They could have had like 18,000 different homeworks on that week, and you won't understand that and you won't remember that properly until you like shadow a student for the day and you're like, oh, holy moly, they're ping-ponging everywhere. This is difficult for them. So it just gives you a little bit more of appreciation and help for them too. So that's my first half term. Towards the end of the half term, I also get to teach like a starter activity. So about 15 minutes just to sort of dip my toes into the pond of teaching. But I've been told from teacher trainees, by the time you're doing lesson observations, you're just like, 2 weeks in, you're like, I just want to do it, I just want to start teaching. And that is when the second half term, the October half term, after that it arrives and I will be teaching 6 to 8 hours a week. It basically means that I'll be running through my lesson plans with this mentor time. There'll be checkpoints throughout the half term to see how I'm doing as well, if I'm getting ticked off with the criteria. But throughout this time as well, so throughout the full year, I am going to be back at uni, but only for a small amount of time am I going to be at uni. So for the first half term, every Friday, I'm going to be going to the University of Sheffield, and then the majority of the second half term, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for one Friday from like after the Christmas holidays, and then that's about it. But basically with the Sheffield Scitt and Scitt in general, you're able to accumulate points towards a master's. So by the end of the year I will have had 30 credits that can go towards a master's in the future for doing teaching, which is awesome. So that's just another little flavour of why the Scitt is great. What happens in terms of placements is that my first half term and my second half term, I am my school one, which is like my home school. For me, it's Notre Dame. So I'm in there, I'm learning, but then after Christmas, from January till around the start of April, I'm going to a second school. Because what happens after the Christmas half term is you then teach 8 to 9 hours a week. So you slowly increasing this time. Then approximately for a week, I have to go to a primary school, which I'm so excited about because I do love the little children, the little tots. What happens is if you're going to be a teacher, you have to have experience in like a key stage above your group that you're teaching and a key stage below. Because Notre Dame has a sixth form, I'm already going to be having a bit of experience with an older year group, but I also need experience with the key stage below. So for a week I then get to choose to go to a primary school. From June for about 2 weeks I then get to have another placement. So this is an alternative placement, and this means that it's just something else, something a little bit different. You choose, basically you can do a special needs school if you've not had much experience with that yet and you're like, I need to have a little bit more learning about this. You could choose to go to a private school too, so you can see the differences between like state schools versus private schools as well. So you'd have got a job by now, and then you just go to the school that you'll be starting in September just to get used to it. And that's more of like the logistic things, getting to know the teachers, the students. You're not going to be expected to teach in that time. So that is my full flipping year. It's a heavy one, it's a long one, I'm super excited. What is going to be amazing about the Scitt is that you've got this mentor time. I'm in the school 24/7, but you also do have basically like a theory day. So for the majority, like halfway of the year, every Wednesday is like theory time. So I'm still in school, but I'm in like the learning room, where all of the skitters, as I like to call them, all the subjects come together and they learn in the morning about like behavioural management techniques, well-being, safeguarding, what have you, and then in the afternoon you go into like your subject specialists and learn more about that subject too. That is some information about the Sheffield Scitt. If you are in the Sheffield area, definitely look for it. If you are in different areas, there's a Scitt near you. There's a Scitt near you. Around the January to March time, that is when you start looking for teaching jobs. Yeah, it's quite early on, but that is what has to happen. That is what has to happen. So from January to March time, you start looking for teaching jobs, and that is when it'll all get sorted, and then by July time you're going to be able to have those couple of weeks to do the admin logistic things at your new school. So that is about the Sheffield Scitt. Very exciting. I'll obviously basically show you my journey of what's going on for those people that are teacher trainees and they want to have a little bit of comparison and help with, but also for those students that are thinking about doing teacher training, how and what is it? I will see you next week. I hope you've really enjoyed this video. It's been insightful for you if you're thinking about doing teaching, and I will see you next week.